everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It's Wicked here, and it is Wicked Wednesday, so we are gonna do our typical drawing something creepy for Wednesday. If it's not your forte, I'm sorry, but we're just gonna kind of go with it for right now. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I am gonna start sketching a circle. Y'all know me, I love skulls, so I'm going to sketch me out a skull for right now. So I'm going to lightly put that in. Okay. Then I'm going to start breaking down these shapes in here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is get the shape of the skull. So I have the top part of my head, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of straighten this edge here and curve out. And go like that. Then I'm going to go to the other side, try to even it out a little bit because my top is rising. I'm going to come down this way, straighten it a little bit, come down a little bit more. I'm going to curve and go back out. Okay. And then I'm going to come down this way. And if you notice, I'm going back and forth so I can kind of keep it even. Okay, then I'm going to put a slight curve here and a slight curve here. Okay, and we're going to get down into the tooth area. So I'm going to come right off the edge here, and we're going to swing this way. We're going to kind of meet it here like this. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean up my circle since I don't need that inside curve or these parts that are going on the outside. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to come to this side where my eyes are going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my eyes for my skull. Just like that. I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. Try my best to keep it even. It's okay if it's not, though. The goal is just to make some cool artwork. Ooh, excuse me on that one. So sorry if that blew your eardrums out. Something just kind of tickled my nose there for a minute. Alright. So I'm going to need to stretch this just a little bit. Again, we're trying to keep it even, but it does not have to be perfect. Okay. So we have that. Alright, now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get my nose. So I have myself a little skull shape here. I'm gonna make more of a triangle shape here. A bone that goes up in there, and we'll put like a little wavy kind of cracked line going from there. Okay. Now I'm gonna cut off a point of where like I'd see the edge of the bone on the nose. Same thing with my skull on the edge here. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill these eyes in. Just going to shade that in nice and dark. Doesn't have to be black, just dark enough. That seems like a huge hole going down in there. I'm going to do the other eye as well. Okay, so we'll just fill that in. And then I'm gonna hatch in this edge over here. Just using straight lines. I'm gonna do the same thing on this other side. Just gonna hatch in some line work. Okay, now same with this nose. I'm gonna come down here and let's go ahead and fill that in. Okay, so we have that, and then I'm gonna hatch in the side edge over here. I'm gonna do that on both sides. Just to give it a little bit of depth. We're not going to do anything too super crazy. Okay, so next thing I want to do is I want to kind of break my skull, for lack of a better word. So I'm going to kind of split his head open here, so to speak. Okay, so we have that. I'm just going to kind of work it around up to the top here. Come right off here. And around that. So now I can clean up. Remember, pause the video if you need to stay caught up. You know, sometimes it might seem I move fast, but try not to go super slow either, so it's not a 5-hour video. Okay, so we have our curve down right here, right? So I'm gonna start building the tops of these teeth. That'll be on our skull. So this is just the top part of it. Alright, and then I'm just going to kind of go back and forth. Try and keep it somewhat even. Again, we're just going for an overall aesthetic of creepiness, so again, does not have to be 100% perfect, but we'll do our best to keep it even. Tell you what, let's do this. Let's make these teeth a little bigger. And we can kind of make it look like maybe he had a crooked tooth of some kind. Okay, so now I can take this, I can bring it down and put a curve, connect with that tooth there. Can come off and make this one sharp. Let's go back to this side and curve up. So what we're doing is we're just building up that tooth shape. We'll go down, come back up, make this one a little bit straight. Same with this one. And like I said, we're going to do like kind of a crooked, sharp tooth here in the front. Alright. So it's going to do it for that right now. Okay, so I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to just add something else creepy to it. Let's sketch me another circle here. Okay, and I'm going to put another circle. Guess this is going to be an eyeball. Okay. Now I'm going to draw one more. I'm going to color that one in black. Okay. Now I'm going to draw in these little extra shapes here for kind of like a reflection on the eye. Okay. And then what I want to do inside of here is I want to make little slits on the iris. Now I'm going to have them kind of separate down here, and then I'm going to kind of just go up and down like I'm hatching and work my way around on the side here. Again, I don't want to fill in those shapes that I drew. Okay, then I can lightly, don't want to do black, I'm going to lightly just kind of shade in this area here. Again, leaving those shapes that I drew alone so that they're still white. Kind of thicken up the edge. So we want it to have a nice thickness there. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's make this shape come out right here. I want to kind of keep it skinny for this part. Okay. And I'm going to come back around the eyeball like it's wrapping around the back. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do another one here. Let's turn it this way. Kind of make that more skinny here. And you see that little line that's inside there? I want to get rid of that. Okay. Then we're going to come out from behind the eye here and just kind of curve back towards the eyeball. So since I'm done with that side, I'm going to go ahead and solidify that side of the eye. Okay. Now I'm going to come on this side here. So I want to just kind of follow it around. Alright, so when I get down to like where I'm starting to turn down here at the bottom, I kind of make this rounded shape here. Like that. And then I want to come to this area right down here. And we're going to make this shape like this. Kind of keep it thin, not quite as thin as this, but we just want to thin it out. And again, I'm going to erase that inside right here. Okay, and then I'm going to go up. Make another shape, and I'm going to take this across this way. Keep it really thin. Try to stay as close to that line as you can. Okay, so if you haven't been able to tell, this is an insect, right? So we're going to do another one right here. Bring that line out so we can just continue along that line here. Go ahead, come out this way. Kind of cut that off because we need to turn our leg. Okay, so we're going to come back this way and pass in front of this leg. Okay, so we want to kind of maintain our shape size here for each section. Okay, so it should look like that. Then we're going to put a huge curve on it. And we're going to have it touching the eyeball here. Thing I'm going to do is we're going to add another leg. We're going to make it seem like it's climbing inside of our skull. So I want to go ahead and do this other part of the spider's body here. And we'll just kind of connect it to the legs. We can clean up this inside. Okay, so we're going to make this one come out this way. And we're going to kind of turn it so it's like he's starting to go inside of our skull here. Okay, and we're going to come down here, we're going to add another leg. Like that. And then we can just have that disappear down into the skull. Alright, so we're going to have our head right here. I'm not going to see a whole lot of it. And then we can bring this that way. So what we're trying to do is separate the body. And we can see the head, but it's going in there already, so we don't have to add too much detail on that. Just give the illusion of it. Okay, but what I do want to do is we can go ahead and solidify the rest of our eye here. Refine that line, and then we have our other leg already inside right there. Okay, and then we'll have one more coming out this way. And he's just kind of putting his leg on top of the skull there. So he's trying to climb down in there. Okay. So just refined a couple of extra lines. Alright. So now what we're going to do is we have to have him kind of descending from a web. So I am just going to draw with black lines on this just to save us some time of having to do an outside edge. But we're going to keep it kind of thin, except for that main line that's coming down. Okay, so we're going to have another piece kind of coming down this way. Just like that. Alright, and then I want to bring like maybe a couple extra lines off there. Then we can curve this one down. Actually have that come over the eyeball. Curve another line into that one. Then we can round one up this way. We want to, let's have it meet right here. Okay. And we can add very subtle details. Do another one right there connecting to that leg. Okay. And then we want to kind of come up from it and just have that extend up into space. Okay, we'll put another curved line here on the leg. We'll have two more come off the top here. Just like that. Okay. Then we can do some creepy stuff. We can add some more. It's kind of coming off and around. Okay, let's do maybe one that's connecting here. Like that, a little V shape. Okay. And we can have this come down, touch the skull. We can turn it this way. Like that. give it kind of like a, I mean, we know it's webbing, but want it to have almost like a slimy kind of look, almost like it's dripping. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then what we'll do is let's just go ahead and start refining lines, and we'll add in our last details. Okay, so I'm just going to go around my image, and what I want to do is that same deal when I'm on that outside edge where I like to thicken up that line work. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Refine the inside lines by just going over it. Then I'm going to thicken up the outside line. Make sure I clean up inside of those teeth too. If I have any sketchy lines, I want to make sure those are gone. Okay, the rest is just refinement. Around. Like I'm just going to thicken up the edges just like as if I was finishing them at work, because I really want to pull that out. But we're going to add a few more little webbing details in there. Okay, so again I'm just going to refine around the inside areas. When I get to the outside of it, where it's like touching open negative space out here, I want to thicken that up. Now the spider webs I can leave alone, but definitely everything that's like the skull or the spider or the eyeball, I'm going to thicken that up. Okay. Alright, so almost done. It's going to start working our way up to the spider. Okay, so you can see how that's starting to pop. Now I did forget. I'm going to go ahead and come back down here to the eyes. I do want that edge to be solid down there. So make sure that I go around those. Like I said, we'll put those final details here at the end. I just want to make sure that it doesn't look faded compared to the rest. So I'm going to just kind of draw on the outside of that. Okay. Come back up here to the spider's leg and continue around. So anywhere there's this open space where it's just kind of touching air, so like in here, that's actually part of the body, so I don't need to do anything but refine the line work here. I don't need to thicken it up. I'm just drawing over the top, and again, if you see any loose sketchy things, just clean it up. When you get to the outside, like right here, this is a spider web, so maybe we can define that more with some lines here. want to thicken up this part right in here. Okay, going on the outside of this leg will get thick because it's touching the open air. Same thing with the back half of the abdomen here. Or the thorax. I can't really remember bug parts specifically, but around the outside of this eyeball. That again, clean up any sketchiness that may be in there. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to the legs. Since this is all webbing, I can thicken up these edges here. Continue on the outside of the eyeball, around this leg. Just remember that's webbing, so I'm going to clean up the sketchiness around in there. And thicken up my eyeball here, outside of my leg. Right there. This inside part here too, and then just refine the rest of my lines. Okay. Now, I can add a few little line details down here for my teeth. Okay. Maybe we can add this shape here and kind of hatch in that bottom half to give it more shape. Okay, so same thing here. I can kind of curve that around to here and go ahead and hatch that in as well. Okay. Let's see, we could kind of spread the webbing across the skull. So I think I can make that shape there and have that kind of run off the leg right there, right? Just adding in little details here. Maybe have a little bit more come off on this side. Just looks like the webbing is just kind of spreading here. And just remember that old saying that, you know, less is more. Yeah, I could come down here and spread it through the whole face. We don't want to do that too much. Just want to kind of have it creep across certain spots. I'm kind of like using this motion to kind of like almost like an invisible gravity guide my hand on that. Alright. So with this spider now, what I want you to be able to do is, the reason why we didn't make it like black is because like usual I just want you to be able to and I'm just going to add a few more line details you can put in here. But I just want to be able you to be able to always take these pictures to the next level, by either coloring or shading it on your own. So those are options that are there for you. So if you want to color it, you want to shade it, you want to add some more detail to it. Key thing is I definitely want to be able to see your work. So you can always share your work with me on Twitter at WickedArt5, or by some other means if you're able to figure that out. Not 100% tech savvy on my part. Still kind of learning that aspect of computers. So I'm just adding in these final little details here. Okay. And that is going to be our creepy picture for Wicked Wednesday. Again, if you really like what you're seeing, like and subscribe. It will help the channel obviously grow to where I can keep continuing to do more stuff. If not, if you're just here to learn and have fun, I'm cool with that too. Okay, leave a comment if you have other suggestions. I'll take those into account. Other than that, have a wonderful Wednesday, and until I see you the next time, keep sketching. Bye.